What is up, YouTube? It's DJ, aka the Bearded Bass Man. And as you can see outside, where I'm at right now, it is miserable. It's not really hot, it's not really cold, it's not warm, it's just blah. It's raining, snowing, sleeting, slushing. It's just a mess. Um, Hopefully later today I'll be doing an unboxing, a tackle warehouse unboxing. Is an order I actually placed last week, but because of the holiday, took a little while to get here. Um, Gonna run a few errands, and hopefully by the time I get back, the UPS man will have brought us a little piece of treasure. So stay tuned.
And what I have here is my tackle warehouse order. Decided to do a little bit of an unboxing video today. Just wanted to show you some of the new tackle I have. Most of it's terminal tackle, some soft plastics, a few crankbaits, and something else I've been really excited to get. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Isn't that lovely? Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and put this off the table, be a little easy. One thing I was very excited about, and I just couldn't wait to get, it's a lure that's just now starting to hit the well-known market. It's been out for a while now, but not a lot of people know about them, and that is a lure from River Sea, and it is called the Whopper Plopper. As you can see, the Whopper Plopper is a fairly large lure, and it was actually a lure designed especially by Larry Dahlberg. Now, this lure was actually originally designed to catch pike, which is a very toothy fish. Had no intentions of catching bass, but as Larry soon found out, bass like them too. It's a very noisy topwater bait, has tons of action, actually has a paddle tail, almost like a buzzbait, blade bait, except for the tail on this thing, I can tell you, is huge. As you can tell, even in the box, makes a ton of noise, has a giant treble hook on him. Actually, has two giant treble hooks on him. But hearing the success a lot of people had with them, I just decided to give them a shot this year. Now, as you could see from outside what you saw earlier, no time soon will a topwater bait be being thrown on any of my rods, but it's definitely a lure I'm excited about. I can't wait to get it on the water this coming spring and summer. Anglers like Ish Monroe even claim that they will entice bedding fish. Now, we all know Ish is a big frog fisherman, topwater fisherman himself, so perhaps they are, perhaps they're not, but I'm really excited and can't wait to get these on the water. Now, as I told you, this year I've actually decided to change up my terminal tackle. I actually have a ton of terminal tackle ordered. I've decided to go from your standard offset worm hooks to a straight shank flipping hook. Now, I did this because I actually attended Bass University in Harrisburg, PA, weekend before last, and the instructors brought up a very good point about using offset worm hooks. As you can see with a straight shank, like that right there, there are a very limited gap when you're using offset. Now, offset worm hooks work incredibly well for holding the bait on, and they're just a tried and true design that's been out for years. Now people using the straight shank worm hooks or bait holder hooks, it doesn't have to be a worm hook, it could be a flipping hook, which is what I have here. Your hookup ratios tend to go up, which is what I'm kind of hoping, because I noticed last season a lot of my Texas rig hook sets and hookup ratios were very lacking. Getting tons of hit, couldn't always connect. That equals no fish in the live well. So I decided to get several different sizes, all the way from 2/0 all the way up to 5/0. I've got your regular flipping, all the way up to heavy duty flipping, which is a very, very heavy hook design. Mostly going to be used for pitching and stuff along that nature. I went with VMC just because I like their design. Personal preference, is it better? probably no better than some of the other companies out there. Going back to River to Sea, Ishman Rose design hook is a very nice looking hook, as well as Gamakatsu makes a very nice design hook too. The one thing that sold me is, as you can see, those little bait holder bars. That really sold me on this. Maybe it'll hold the bait on a little bit more, or maybe it's just designed to catch fishermen like yours truly. I'm not sure. I'm going to find out. Terminal tackle aside, I also got some swinging rugby head jigs, also by VMC. I've got a couple different sizes here, 3/8, all the way up to a 3/4 ounce jaw. I'm going to try to use these instead of maybe a shaky head in the summer. I'm not really a very proficient shaky head fisherman. Maybe this will give me some added confidence in using the shaky head, or maybe I'll end up just Texas rigging a crawl or something like that, dragging it across beds. That's all money in early spring. Once again, mostly terminal tackle. This box actually has a ton of terminal tackle in it. Not all of it is mine. This also is combined with my father, because he too has decided to change up his terminal tackle setup and go from offset to straight shank. Another bait I was excited to see was the BioSpawn Vile Craws. Now, I've never actually laid eyes on these personally. A couple of fishermen I actually fish with swear by them. They say that the action is unrivaled. They put these on everything from trailers, as far as jig trailers, swing jigs, chatterbaits, spinner baits, Texas rig, Carolina rig. I've even seen them on the internet rigged on drop shots. Now, they're a little bigger. They're a little big for me to be putting on drop shots, but if they work, they work. I definitely wanted to see the action. Maybe switch up for these. Currently, I'm using the Reaction Innovation Torques, which seem to be working very well for me. I love their action, but the BioSpawn definitely piqued my interest. Now, I've got 4 different colors here. 3 are fairly natural, and of course, I've got the white BioSpawn. Just to try in the spring, maybe try to catch some bedded largemouth to see. Obviously, you can see it in the water better. Hopefully, the actions of these baits are well worth the advertised hype. Next up, these are actually my father's purchase. He wanted to get into the big flutter spoon craze, and we decided to go with the Strike King, a very reputable and notable company. They're sexy spoons. Now, these are, in my eyes, a very large spoon, but they're not large in comparison to what a lot of anglers throw. He definitely wanted to try a big spoon. Those of you who watch Major League Fishing have definitely seen how quickly these can fire up a school of fish. They are deadly in clear water, deep water especially. I'm not completely sold on these yet. I do see where a lot of people fish them, and aside from Strike King, Lake Fork Company makes a very, very nice flutter spoon. Unfortunately, Tackle Warehouse was all out at the time of the order. If, well, my dad starts catching fish in the back of the boat, perhaps I just might have to place an order to Tackle Warehouse for some spoons. Maybe then I'll be able to try out the Lake Fork models, which they do appear to be bigger. These are not giant. They do have giant treble hooks on the back of them, as you can see. That's a massive hook, almost as big as what's on the Whopper Plopper. But as I said, he definitely wanted to try the flutter spoon. Hopefully it works out. I can't wait to see if it does. Next up, another lure that was kind of an impulse buy, soft plastic was an impulse buy, is the Big Bite Baits Sugarcane Worm. Now, these were on sale at Tackle Warehouse, and as I said with some of my terminal tackle, one thing I wanted to get more into was shaky head. That's my plan with these. They have a nice paddle on the rear of the tail. They're a very big worm. These are 7-inch. I believe they also came in a 5-inch. I wanted to go with big, just because the time that I plan on throwing a shaky head this coming summer is going to be when everybody is throwing the large worms. The dog days of the summer when you just can't buy a bite and you're just wanting to entice that bass with a big bait that doesn't have a giant profile but gives off a lot of vibration with the paddle tail. I'm hoping this bait suffices. If it doesn't, it's just going to go in the pile with the rest of my soft plastics that I don't use. Hopefully they'll find a way into my tackle box. Next up that I've been kind of excited for is actually not a new bait at all. It's a bait that's been out for quite some time. Is Storm Wiggle Warts. That's right, they are the new models. They're not the old models because of course you can't buy the new models anymore. I don't have any of these in my tackle box right now. I can tell you from looking at these, the colors are very vibrant. Actually more so vibrant than I figured. I do have a few of the old ones. I've never thrown them just because I don't want to lose them. I've heard that they give off awesome actions, the newer models that is. Pro anglers like Brandon Palaniuk use them all the time. He seems to swear by them. They have erratic actions. They actually, I don't know if you hear that, they have what sounds to be a very, very loud rattle. Now, these are the original wart size. I do believe they dive to around 6 to 7 feet, which I'm going to be using, and most of the time it's going to be off of riprap. So hopefully I don't end up losing these. I'm also going to be dragging them across flats and probably just attacking structure with them. I have read that the new models are nowhere near as fish catching or fish producing as the old ones. I'm going to put that to the test and we're going to see how true that stands up. Another thing I have in here that we ordered was just some random rod socks. There's some more soft plastics in there, which there's always got to be a home for the 4-inch Berkley Power Worms. You can't go wrong with those. Those are killer. All times of the year I've caught fish on 4-inch. Now you might be saying 4-inch is a finesse size, that's awful small. Well, I'm primarily a finesse fisherman. I do like to throw jigs, but I love my 4-inch worms. I love the drop shot, and I've thrown these since I was a kid. They are money. If you have not tried the 4-inch Power Worms original, definitely do yourself a favor and pick some of these up. Along with the 4-inch model, I've also got the 7-inch model. I don't throw the 7 as much as my dad. As I said, some of this is my father's as well. He loves to throw the 7-inch, and it seems to produce for him just as well as the 4. Maybe not so much in the early spring, but definitely in the heat of the summer, the 7-inch will produce, which is also the theory behind the big baits, the big bite baits worms that I've purchased with being 7-inch. I'm kind of hoping that the same theory goes true and they increase the fish as I try to dive into the shaky head world. And last but not least, another soft plastic, which I said before is my go-to trailer. It is the Reaction Innovation Twerk. Now, these are a trailer that I have used most of last summer, and I can tell you that on the back of a jig, dynamite. They have an incredible action, and true to their name, they invoke a reaction strike that is, I've literally had the rod almost yanked out of my hand a few times. Fish just seem to love them. I'm real partial to the hematoma collar, which is a blue-black combination, as well as this, which is the Dirty Sanchez. Don't laugh at the name. It was a selling point for me at first, which is a green pumpkin, fluorescent green on the bottom. It's just killer all year long. The hematoma obviously is my go-to lure in dark, muddy, conditioned water. Dirty Sanchez any other time. That's about sums this unboxing up. I just want to thank you for taking the time out to watch my video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to add them to the comment section below. I'll try to answer them as quick as possible. I know some of you may have questions as far as my exact reasoning for choosing the VMC over some others. Just go ahead and comment down below and I'll do my best to answer those as quickly as possible. Don't forget to like my video and of course subscribe, and till next time, this is the Bearded Bass Man. Thanks for watching.